Exorcisms have captivated people's imaginations for centuries, fueling both fear and fascination. In the dimly lit corners of history, legends of demonic possessions have been passed down through generations. The chilling accounts often describe individuals who, under the grip of some unseen force, exhibit strange and violent behavior, their bodies contorting in ways that defy natural explanation. For some, the possession is a profound spiritual crisis, a battle between good and evil, while for others, it's a horrifying mystery that defies rational understanding. What is the truth behind these ancient rituals? Are they the result of a demonic influence, or do they point to something more complex, hidden within the realms of psychology and the human mind? These questions remain at the center of ongoing debates, both among theologians and scientists, who attempt to uncover what lies beneath these frightening phenomena. At the heart of the mystery lies the concept of possession itself. It is, at its core, the belief that an evil spirit or demon takes control of a person's body, mind, and soul, rendering them powerless and often turning them against their loved ones. For centuries, cultures around the world have had their own versions of demonic possession and exorcism. The specifics of the rituals vary, but the underlying theme is consistent: a confrontation between human beings and supernatural forces beyond their control. The Catholic Church, perhaps the most well-known institution associated with exorcisms, defines possession as the condition in which an evil spirit takes full control of a person's body, causing them to behave in ways that are radically different from their normal personality. This includes speaking in languages the person does not know, exhibiting extraordinary strength, and even displaying knowledge of events or secrets they could not have otherwise known. The most famous case of possession that has ever been documented is that of the 1949 exorcism of a young boy known as Robbie Mannheim in the United States. The story of his possession is said to have inspired William Peter Blatty's best-selling novel, The Exorcist, which later became a hit movie. In this case, the boy began experiencing strange occurrences, such as objects moving around him, odd noises, and eventually, violent behavior that even his family could not explain. Several priests were called upon to perform an exorcism, which lasted for weeks and was reportedly filled with terrifying supernatural events. The boy's case has been used by many as a benchmark for what possession can look like, but the question remains: was it truly demonic possession, or could there be a more mundane explanation? The scientific community, by and large, does not endorse the idea of demonic possession. For psychologists and neuroscientists, behavior that seems out of control or abnormal is often attributed to more natural causes, such as mental illness, dissociative identity disorder (DID), epilepsy, or even the power of suggestion. DID, for example, is a condition in which an individual exhibits two or more distinct identities or personalities, often as a result of trauma. Symptoms of DID include memory gaps, emotional instability, and sudden changes in behavior that can appear to others as a form of possession. In fact, many reported cases of demonic possession have been reinterpreted through the lens of psychiatry, revealing patterns that are consistent with mental disorders rather than supernatural phenomena. In addition to DID, epilepsy has been cited as a possible cause for some possession-like experiences. People with epilepsy can experience seizures that affect the temporal lobe, which is associated with emotions, memory, and perception. Temporal lobe seizures can lead to vivid hallucinations, intense feelings of fear or euphoria, and even a sense of disconnection from reality, all experiences that may be interpreted by some as a demonic attack. Scientists have even documented cases where patients suffering from epilepsy seem to speak in languages they had never learned or exhibit extreme changes in behavior, further fueling the connection between neurological conditions and possession. One of the most well-known exorcism cases in recent history is the story of Anneliese Michel, a young German woman who underwent a series of exorcisms in the 1970s, before tragically dying from malnutrition and dehydration. Anneliese had been diagnosed with severe psychiatric conditions, including schizophrenia and dissociative disorder. However, her parents, convinced that she was possessed, sought out the services of 2 priests who performed 67 exorcism sessions over 10 months. During these sessions, Anneliese displayed disturbing behaviors, such as speaking in deep, guttural voices and reportedly displaying an aversion to religious symbols. Tragically, her case ended with her death, and the priests and her parents were later convicted of negligent homicide. The case of Anneliese Michel highlights the danger of disregarding medical explanations in favor of supernatural ones, particularly when it comes to the treatment of severe mental health conditions. The question of whether or not demonic possession is real is not just a matter of scientific inquiry, but also one of cultural belief. Across different societies, beliefs in demonic forces are intertwined with religious, spiritual, and even political systems. In many parts of the world, the idea of possession is not limited to Christianity, nor is the exorcism ritual exclusive to the Catholic Church. In fact, exorcisms are practiced in a variety of religious traditions, from Islam to Buddhism to indigenous belief systems. In each of these systems, the exorcism is seen as a means of expelling evil spirits or forces that are believed to have taken over a person. What unites these diverse traditions is the belief that there are forces in the universe, whether they are evil spirits, demons, or other supernatural entities that have the power to influence human beings in profound and often destructive ways. In recent years, there has been a renewed interest in exorcisms, both in popular culture and in religious circles. Some religious leaders have emphasized the importance of exorcism as a way to combat what they see as a growing number of possessions. This resurgence of interest has been fueled in part by media depictions of possession and exorcism, from The Exorcist to the more recent film, The Conjuring franchise. These portrayals often depict exorcism as a dramatic, intense battle between good and evil, with priests or other religious figures fighting to save the soul of the possessed person. These depictions, however, are often sensationalized and do not accurately reflect the real, sometimes painful, process of exorcism, which can involve weeks or even months of spiritual rituals, prayer, and intense psychological strain. While most people in the scientific community remain skeptical of the supernatural explanations for possession, some researchers are exploring the psychological and social dynamics that could contribute to what people perceive as possession. For instance, the power of suggestion can have a profound effect on people's beliefs and behaviors. When individuals are told they are possessed, they may begin to exhibit behaviors that conform to the cultural expectations of possession. These behaviors might include speaking in foreign languages, displaying abnormal physical strength, or exhibiting violent tendencies, all of which may be interpreted as evidence of a demonic presence. Social and cultural factors, such as stress, trauma, or even the power dynamics between an exorcist and the possessed person, can also play a significant role in shaping how possession is perceived and experienced. The process of exorcism itself is deeply rooted in both ritual and psychology. For those who believe in the efficacy of exorcisms, the ritual is seen as a powerful tool for confronting and dispelling evil forces. The priest or spiritual leader who conducts the exorcism is seen not only as an agent of divine power, but also as a psychological figure who provides support and strength to the person being exorcised. The act of naming the demon, of confronting it directly, can have a therapeutic effect, helping the individual to face their own fears and struggles. Some psychologists argue that the act of exorcism can provide a sense of closure or release for the person, even if the supernatural elements are not real. However, there are those who argue that exorcisms can do more harm than good. The intensity of the rituals, combined with the physical and emotional strain of being subjected to what is often a prolonged and physically demanding process, can be deeply traumatizing. In some cases, people undergoing exorcism have been injured or even killed, either by the exorcists themselves or by the physical exertion required by the ritual. Critics of exorcism also point out that the belief in demonic possession can sometimes divert people from seeking proper medical or psychological care, which can lead to worsened conditions and unnecessary suffering. As the debate continues, one thing is clear: the phenomenon of exorcism is not going away anytime soon. It will continue to captivate our imaginations and challenge our understanding of the human mind and spirit. Whether it is a supernatural battle between good and evil, or a complex psychological event shaped by culture and belief, the mystery of possession and exorcism is as old as humanity itself. And as long as there are people who believe in the power of demons and the efficacy of exorcism, the story will persist an enduring enigma in the crossroads of science, faith, and the unexplained. In the end, the exorcism mystery is not just about demons, spirits, or supernatural forces. It is a reflection of our deep-seated fears, our need to understand the unknown, and our quest to find meaning in a world that can sometimes feel out of control. Whether demonic possession is real or not may remain a mystery, but the search for answers will continue to stir the human imagination for generations to come. If you found this deep dive into the mysterious world of exorcisms and possession fascinating, don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more captivating content. Thanks for watching, and stay curious.